Okay, welcome everybody to Archie's Attic video of a fox keyring. This is a really great little felting workshop to do. It doesn't take long and it's really quite effective. You can also adapt it and make different animals with it. So I've made foxes, I've made badgers, put little glasses on them, I've made sheep with little hats, and I've made rabbits and mice. You can do all sorts of things, but once you get this kind of basic core, you can build up your own shapes later on and try and make something else. You can make your friend's dog and give them it as a gift. You can even make little owls using the same idea. So what you will need is a good felting needle. I tend to vary my needles between a 42 and a 40 gauge. You will need a key ring. You can get these online quite easily. You'll need a pipe cleaner. This one is 6 inches long. Okay. You'll need some really good wool. Now the wool I have is a blended wool, but the stronger the wool, the better. Really, you don't want to be using merino. It's too fine. So you need a wool that's going to make a really good core. So a good core wool like birch chaff or a Norwegian wool, something with a bit of structure in it, is really good. So you will need about 9 grams of fox coloured wool. You only need a little bit of the white. Again, I've used a birch chaff, and also black, again the same wool. So those are the 3 colours that you will need. You can, even if you want to be a bit adventurous, you can pop a bit of grey in, but I'll show you where to pop that later on. And I also make little hats for these foxes, so you'll need a small piece of tweed, and I will go through that with you later. So what we're going to do is take the pipe cleaner, fold it in half, find the midpoint. So put the 2 ends together, find the midpoint, and then we're going to twist the pipe cleaner round. Now this is really good for felting onto because the wool holds onto it. Just be careful when you're working with your needles. Obviously don't stick it in your fingers, but also just be careful not to hit the ring, or I mean the pipe cleaner it's quite forgiving, but the ring will break your needle, and the needles are quite expensive these days, so just be careful when you're working around the back of the head, round this part, not to hit the wire. Okay, so what we're going to do is pull off. I have this in, it's really good, comes in slivers, so it's quite handy. So I'm going to measure 2 lengths of my pipe cleaner and my key ring. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to pull and break the wool there. So I'm going to then pass that through the loop at the back and find again the midpoint, so the halfway point. Then I'm going to take 1/2 of the wool and wrap it round and round as tightly as I can, because the tighter you wrap this, the less needle felting you will have to do. So it's doing you a big favour in the long run to get it nice and tight. And once you've wrapped that, pop it down on your foam pad, tack it into position, and then you can let go of it. Now when you're working, just roll it round and round and round, and then you'll get an even felting all the way around your work. Now it's really important to get this core as strong as you can, because this is going to hold the shape of the fox. You don't want a key ring that's going to go out of shape and look a bit weird in about a couple of weeks' time. So you need something that's got a really good core strength. So you need to do quite a lot of felting with this. Now I'm going to stop now, but you need to carry on until that's really nice and tight. And then we take the second part and we just wrap this round. Now this will only wrap sort of towards the back and then kind of halfway down. It won't go right to the end of the work because it's much fatter, so it's got further to wrap, so it will not wrap as far down. But that's fine, because the shape that we're actually trying to create is a nice triangular shape. You can see how the fox has got a very triangular head, so you need most of the weight of the wool at the back. Okay, so we're going to felt and felt and felt until that's really nice and tight. Remember what I said? The core's got to be really strong because it's got to hold that shape. Now I'm going to stop felting this piece, but I'm just going to show you. So that's what it will look like, really nice and strong like this. So just pause. You just pause the video and then catch and set me off again when you've caught up. So we'll do. You can do that all the way through this. So once you've got to that stage, what we're going to do now is take another piece of the wool, and we need a piece which is just one length of the fox's head, and then including the keyring at the back. I'm going to take that, pull that off, and we're going to this time not go through the loop. We're just going to start at the back of the head, and we're just going to wrap around the back of the head, just filling in this back half of the head like this, and then we're going to tack that on and into place. Be careful of your fingers. Okay, so we just keep working at that, keep working, keep turning it round, keep felting until it's really nice and secure. This bit at the back here, just to tidy this up, take your needle and work towards the nose end all the way around the back, and that'll just tidy up that back end. Just be careful of the metal, it will break your needle. Oops, and it'll also grab it. If it grabs it, just really carefully pull it out, and then you don't lose the barbs on your needle or break it. You don't need to send the needle too deep into the into your work. It just needs to felt the surface. So I would say kind of 1/2 centimetre in. You don't need to go all the way through. Also, if you go all the way through, you take the wool through and out the other side, and you just end up with a really hairy fox's head. There we go. Okay, you just keep on working at that until it's really, really nicely felted and really secure, and it will look like, that's a smaller one. Will look something like this, but this is much smaller, so I'm going to continue with this one. As I never work with animals and children. I've gone wrong already. Okay, so keep on going till it's nice and secure. Now that needs to be nice and solid, as I said before, and I'll keep saying it. I'm sorry, I know it's pretty repetitive, but it has to be a very stable base to put your shapes onto. Otherwise, you'll just end up with a floppy key ring, and it won't last very long. And you want to impress your friends, so you can show them what you've done. There we go. Okay, so it needs to be more felted than that, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to stop there at that point and go to the next stage. But you just keep on felting until it's really nice and secure. This one's still a bit floppy, but I can come back. I can go back to that later. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a piece of wool. Now we need about, I would say, I have here a 3-inch piece of wool. So I'm going to split that in half, right down the middle, like this. So I've got 2 even pieces of wool, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit so it's about 1/2 inch wide, and I'm just going to roll it in my fingers round and round and round and make a nice shape. Now, it doesn't matter if it's thinner, it's better if it's thinner at this end and kind of fatter at that end. So we've almost got a triangle. Okay, now I'm going to lay that on the side of the head, down the side of the head here, from the midpoint to the back. Make sure it reaches the back of the head. Okay, and I'm going to felt that onto that side. Watch your fingers. This is going to make that triangular shape even more obvious. And don't worry if it looks like you've stuck a bit on the side of it, we're going to cover that up later. Okay, turn it round and then just work the back of it. Make sure it's nice and secure. So this is probably a little bit floppy than yours will be. Yours should be a little bit more felted than mine, but I don't want to spend too long just stabbing wool. I need to move on and show you what to do. Okay, so that's that side done. We're going to do exactly the same with the other side. So take your piece and roll it round. Now, as I said, don't worry if you can create a thinner front end and more of the wool at the back, that's brilliant. Okay, because that will be a fantastic shape. So now make sure that when you put this second piece on, it's got to go down this side of the head in exactly the same position as that one here. Otherwise he's going to look a bit wonky. So I would kind of just have a good look before you take your needle and fix it. That's about right. And fix it into place. Like that. And then at the back. Whoops. Okay, so you just keep going, make sure that's really well felted, and I'm just going to move on to the next stage. Okay, so can you see now we've created this lovely kind of triangular foxy shape. I'm just going to shorten the nose a little bit. The nose is just a little bit too long, by using my needle and taking it backwards, so it's actually pulling the wool back down the nose, so it's actually shortening it. Doesn't want to be too long in the nose. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take a piece of wool, about an inch of wool, probably a little bit more, it's about 1.5 inches there, and we're going to take that and fold it in half in the middle and bring the two wispy ends together at the front. So you've got a nice thick piece at the back where it's folded in half and wispy at the front, and we're going to lay that across the top of the forehead. So the nice fat piece is going to go at the back of the head here, and the wispy bit kind of runs down the nose onto the forehead, and you're just going to tack that into place like this all the way around. Watch the keyring at the back of the head. Watch your needle. Okay, now you need to keep felting till that's nice and solid. Keep going, keep working at it. Okay, can you see this shape we're creating now? So you keep working on that and you should have something which resembles this. Okay, now you can tidy up any bits of, if you have any lines where you see any joins like there are here, just tidy that up by just taking some wool. You don't need a lot of wool, and laying it over the joint and then just felting it, and the joint will then just disappear. Any joins anywhere that you've got will just disappear, so you can tidy it up by using little bits of wool. Okay, so this is the shape we've got to now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some of the